I'll show you a picture now.
Okay.
Okay. Try to describe that picture. Try to make up a story, weave some story around it. This has happened and that happened. And what to first begin with, what do you see in the picture? And then try to weave a story around it. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Not essentially focusing on grammar only, but functional grammar, if you have heard. Thank you for connecting with me here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell me, what do you do, Srija? And where are you from?
Okay. I'm from Assam and I'm in my end semester. I'm doing BCom. BCom honors.
Okay, so you're a student.
Yeah, I'm a student.
So these are the most beautiful years of life, you know. Being a student, you gain new perspectives every day to look into the things while you are figuring out how your life is going to shape up. And okay, so you are in Assam. So tell me, how's the
Yeah.
weather there?
As because here it's winter, so yeah. But it's a here it's very pleasant weather, like neutral, moderate. You can say the weather is
Hmm.
pretty much moderate, like not too much cold or warm, something like that. So it's in between.
I'm in New Delhi and the winters are feeling really harsh here and it is chilling to the bone. But today, I'm glad that it was a sunny day. So the weather is good today, but now it's evening and we'll start feeling the chills again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You're from
So
Delhi. You're from New Delhi.
I reside in New Delhi, but I hail from Punjab. I was born and brought up there and entirely had my education from there. So it has been 15 years back. I resided in Delhi for 5 years. Then I moved to Chandigarh again. Then I'm back in Delhi 4 years back. So it's just, I keep changing places because of my partner's transferable job.
Okay. You are married.
Yes, I am. I have two children, one son and a daughter.
You don't look like.
Oh,
You
that's,
don't
I
look
take
like.
it as a
Yeah.
compliment. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
obviously, you look quite young. You look very young. Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. Or age is just a number, right?
Yeah, definitely. But you have maintained yourself so well. So that is the thing I was pointing out.
Maybe
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with that. It's just God's gift. Okay. So tell me, what do you want to talk about today? Or shall I give you speaking prompts, or is there anything specific that you wish to discuss?
No, you can start. Like right now, my mind is really blank. So yeah, you can give me some thing, some topic or something, or we can discuss something. You can ask me
Right.
something, and then I can, ask you something.
Right. Before I begin, I will give you some speaking prompts that are really going to help you, in assessing how well you are able to speak in an unprepared situation. Because generally, the everyday topics of discussions that we have discussions and we are pre-prepared somewhere. Our mind is already pre-prepared. So, but before I dive into that, tell me something about your English journey.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I started my journey past 4 to 5 years back, and my only reason to start the journey was because this is something which will remain always. Like the thing, this thing is crucial, and this will always remain like that. So I had to learn this, and as I'm from English medium school, so still my English was broken because there was no such environment, where people are speaking in this language,
Mhm.
and there was no such conducive environment. People, if if there if I speak among my other fellow friends, my other fellow classmates, they will make a joke out of it. So there were no such environment where uh, individuals can speak with each other in a comforting way. So
Mhm.
people are always there to judge you, these and that. So and in school, what happens is we are conditioned like this way, that there is no such, because there were no such strictness or something like that. Like, we were just there to learn the academics thing, nothing more or less than that. So there was no such environment that you have to speak in this language. Otherwise, there was such penalty, or just for the sake of showing up that, yeah, this is an English medium school. There were some sort of penalties that have been drawn. That if you don't speak in English, some sort of amount was set. 500 penalty you have to do all of that thing. But then
Mhm.
this didn't came to light because they themselves were not authorities themselves were not following it, whatever they were
Mhm.
doing. They themselves were chit chatting in their own native language, in our own native language. So there
Right,
was no
right.
such environment. So what you know, for us to follow something, we can't really follow something if our own teachers are not following it. So they are preaching something, and they are, in with their actions, they are demonstrating something else. So they themselves are not comfortable in speaking in English language, and they were pushing us, even for small amount of time. They were pushing us, not like, they were pushing us like for the longest of time. That you have to learn this language, you have to have command over this language. This is for the future. This is for your excellence. All of that. There were no such thing, and we were conditioned like this. And we are also conditioned for one thing more, which is grammar. The grammar always considered as a
Right.
set apart thing. Set apart thing. The grammar is a we were taught grammar differently. Like, English is a different subject and grammar is a different subject, which is technically not fundamental now, but
Mhm.
we are taught like this. And now, while growing up, not only me, but there are many individuals who will agree with me. That we were taught like this. We were taught differently, and we were having fear of grammar.
Mhm.
While we are trying to converse, while we have started our journey. So there was
Mhm.
the one thing which was fearful to us was grammar. If I speak a sentence, and if there are some some errors, some grammar errors, so my sentence won't the structure formation, won't get complete. So I just want to say, that people should come out of this fear of uh, of this thing in their mind, that, grammar is. I know grammar is important. Grammar is important, very important, but it's not very important for the start. I believe that, because it has happened with me. Like, I was focusing on grammar and grammar only, and it was a very tedious journey for me. So I stopped midway, and I started learning new stuff like vocab things, all of that, idioms, phrases, all of that was required, for me to form a sentence. So I did all of
Mhm.
that, and my confidence was developing. That I could speak all of that. So all the fearful thing that we have in our mind, before, we all start from scratch. We all are broken at some point of time. We are not perfect. We all are. So, what happened is, I want to say that, no, do not just shake that fear, and do not think, the grammar is very important. Very, very, I know it's important, but keeping aside that very, very thing, just for a second, for a moment, just start
Just forget
focusing
it.
on, yeah, just start focusing on learning, new words, all of that, because this is required. For the starter, this is required, that you understand the other individual, or whatever that person is, saying, and you let others understand your thing. So for that, words are required. A good amount of words are required. So grammar is a secondary thing. Like, this is my point of view, what I have experienced. And yeah, this thing has helped me. So I was only focusing on grammar thing. That grammar is important. I have to have format on grammar. But then it was literally leading me nowhere, and I was just I was just getting frustrated and all of that. So I stopped for a second. For a moment, I was like, no, this is something which I will keep for later years or something. Like, for now, I focus on gaining learning new words, enhancing all of the things that is required. I'll focus on tone, all of that is required. Then know, moral, morals, all of that, table manners, these all things are required under communication skills. So
Etiquette.
Yeah, I'll focus on, yeah, etiquette. So all of these are required. So I'll focus on that first, and yeah, while I was focusing on this thing, grammar became a very, this grammar thing became very blur in my point of view.
Hmm.
So
Right,
I'm
I
still
completely resonate with you there, and well, you have realized this quite early in your life, and right now you are a student, and world is your oyster. I'm sure you are going to grow by leaps and bounds, and your journey is going to grow stronger only. Well, to add to the points that you just mentioned, in school. Generally, how our English language begins is by first learning grammar. But
yeah,
that is, I think, the incorrect way of learning any language. Any language learning begins from listening. Because if you consider how, as a native speakers, we learned the language, our language learning started right from the birth. By listening. 2 years we kept listening to the language before we even uttered a single word. Right? So, first focus should be on listening, exposure to the environment, building that environment of exposure to the language, target language, and then our second focus should be on speaking first, not on committing the mistakes. So,
mm,
our
very important.
expression of our thoughts is important, building vocabulary. And once you
Yeah,
have achieved these three, you even if broken sentences, you are conversing in broken sentences, you're finding the right words, you are building that vocabulary, then slowly along the line you can work on the sentence structure, and that also not essentially focusing on grammar only, but functional grammar, if you have heard.
yeah,
Functional
yeah,
grammar that is important for your conversations. And that also you pick from the context of reading and listening.
yeah,
That is the
definitely.
actual way to go about it. Okay. So let me give you a prompt here. Okay. Since you are in college, tell me about any memorable moment that you have had in college. The most memorable moment till now.
Okay, most memorable, I can say, there's nothing sort of memorable, but yeah, I can say one thing. When I was in class 11th, uh, I was in college in class 11. I
Okay.
know, yeah, we don't consider it as a college when we were in class 11, 12, but it was a college. And one of the funny thing is what happened was we were in college when we when we joined, and then the name just saying, and then what happened, it just they just replaced the thing college with school. So we entered in a college and then we passed out from school.
From school. Okay.
So,
That
so
is
it was
quite
funny.
amusing actually. It's like downgrading. You
Yeah,
entered a college and you passed out from a school. Okay, continue.
yeah, so what happened? My college name was Vivekananda Junior College, and then it got a new name while we were, while we were doing class 12 and all of that. Corona time, that was 2020, I guess. And
Mhm.
that moment, it was school. So from college to school, it was like, I don't know. It will be funny because it will always remain, because I had passed out from school basically. It was college and now it's school. So, anyways, coming to what I wanted to say is, class 12, class 11, when I joined in that college, the first year was like one hell of a journey because I really enjoyed. I made new friends. And what happened was one of my friend, she had a friend, and that very first day, I started interacting with that friend, and then we got uh, we got each other's back from the very first day, me and that friend.
Hmm.
But what happened was that friend, she interacted us, she introduced us basically. Her thing just blurred away. So her the I mean, we were so much into each other, me and my friend, that I was not we were not
You were
interested in
too
her.
thick together. That
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
phrase that you can use. Yes, okay.
Yeah, we were like we were interested in each other, and we just forgot about her existence. So it was kind of funny. And along with the journey with her, it was like really great. Like we did a lot of stuff. We pushed our limits of doing crazy things. We did insane things, and we did a lot of things. Like we used to you know throw water at all the funny banters that we did. We used to throw water at each other in the recess period. Uh, we used to do every sort of things that was required. So class 11 was the funniest year for me. It was the most memorable year for me. And after that, Corona time came, and Corona time was really depressing for me because class 11th went great, and I wanted it to end well, but it didn't end well because we were at our homes locked. We were locked in
Hmm.
our, and all
People
of
went
that
into
happened.
seclusion, forced seclusion.
Yeah, it continued. It didn't continue for 21 days. it,
Hmm.
it,
As
it continued
expected.
long. Yeah, it continued for long, even 2 years. It continued. The impact, the destruction
Right.
has continued for. So we were just missing each other so much because class 11. I'll always remember this class 11 because you know we had shared a hell lot of moments with each other, which was like great. Like sometimes we miss all those things in our life. Much later year we miss all those things. So this class 11 thing will I'm gonna remember it, like, yeah, for rest of the year. So yeah, but yeah,
That was a very vivid description that you gave out there and very detailed. And you remember everything like as it happened yesterday.
and Corona thing really did affected me.
I don't want to go down that lane actually. I have a severe trauma of COVID. Anyhow, it didn't last for me for 2 years, but rather 3 or 4 years. Anyhow, I won't go down that lane. Okay, I'll show you a picture now.
Okay,
Okay, try to describe that picture. Try to make up a story, weave some story around it. This has happened and that happened, and what to first begin with. What do you see in the picture, and then try to weave a story around it. Okay, let's see how it goes.
okay. So I have to first understand the image, and then I have to tell you something because, like, my narrative towards this image.
Yes, first try to describe like what do you see in this picture? Like you are describing to a blind man
Okay,
and he
so
just doesn't know what is there. You describe this is the picture, this is the image. Then you try to weave a story around it that why, when was this clicked, what happened here. Okay.
okay. So there is a picture on the screen where there are five people. They're in a. I can assume that there is a party going on, and there's an outside picture. Like it's the picture is from outside. So basically, they are somewhere partying, and they are enjoying, and they are chit chatting, and it seems like the picture has been taken by one of the most closest friend of them, because the first person, as I can see, is pretty much smiling and enjoying, and the other people out there were just living the moment. So yeah, I can see that the picture is pretty wholesome. And but one thing One thing which I can say is the con thing. It's they're not really looking the picture. Half of the friends, one is living. The four are living the moment. They're not into they're not looking at the camera, and the other one, the first one, is pretty much into the camera. So she is, she's living her life through the camera. So yeah, so that's what I can say. And the nature is like the nature is totally awesome. I can say, and they all are looking gorgeous. They are all pretty much well dressed, and they are in a fun mood, fun partying mood. They all are friends, I can assume. Yeah, and the and the weather is quite sunny. Yeah,
Right, right. So you could have begun by starting to describe the place, the weather. So
yeah.
So this seems to be a park, a public place, and it seems to be a Sunday afternoon and a bright sunny day, right?
Okay.
So try describing the weather, the time of the day, the people that you see, and then you use some words like there is a party going on outside, people are outside. So there are some words that we can use here that it seems to be a celebration between a group of friends and they are celebrating outdoors by holding a picnic and the cuisine that they are serving is fruits, so fruits and wine they are enjoying and it seems to be a couple's picnic. So we can see five people in the picture, right? And one girl that she is in forefront, and her partner probably is taking this, clicking this
I did,
picture, right?
I did,
Yeah, you did mention that. Yes,
yeah. My
great, great.
like it's very subjective actually. Like how we think.
Yes, yes. So, picture description is a great way to start building on developing your adjectives, especially working on adjectives, because every day in our conversations we get to talk about our experiences a lot and describe the things around us. So, I think it helped somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely helped. It was really nice. I got to know your understanding also about this picture, and also it was helpful. Yeah, learn something.
Right. Okay. Let me go back to the chat. Okay. Okay, so I think it was a really fruitful session discussing all this with you, and you also enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today, Srija. I'll see you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.